So guys, I did insert a couple pictures of myself so you can get a look at who's been talking to you. Of course, I chose the cutest pictures. The very last one is what I actually look like, but I still think I look pretty decent. All right. Hey guys, welcome to Big Sister. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm in my car. I hope you guys don't mind today. I know there's a lot of background noise. It always sounds different in a car, but bear with me. I want to talk with you guys a little bit about myself, just a little bit. As I said, I've been off screen for some time. I'm busy. I do so many things, and I admit that I've been like, man, I don't feel like pulling out the lights. I don't want to do any of that. But I do enjoy talking to you guys. And if you guys want to see what I look like, you could either watch my intro video that I have, or you can go back to scroll down. You'll see some of my videos with my face. You see what I look like. I wasn't at my best in those, but it gives you an idea of who you've been listening to. So I want to talk about myself a little bit, okay? So I am the only girl, and I only have brothers. All right, I have 3 brothers, and I'm the only girl. I grew up with my brothers at home, and with the mom and dad and everything. And when you grow up with boys as a girl, things are so different. I'm thankful that I have my mom. She kept me girly, but I still wanted to run around and wrestle and play with my brothers. I had dolls, but I really don't remember playing with them a lot. I liked feeding them, but I just don't remember playing with my dolls all the time but I do remember a lot playing wrestling with my brothers, running outside and playing. I was living in New York at the time, and we were in this apartment building, and I remember climbing up, we'd go up on the rooftop because we got a full view of the city from there, and just sitting and playing. I just remember that with my brothers and their friends, and like the female friends that I did have, we'll be outside in front of the buildings or whatever, playing, walking around the block, whatever. But I grew up in a house where I'm with boys for the most part, and so with that, I did not get a lot of the dispositions I say most girls will have. I don't have it because I grew up with boys. Mom was hands-on, but when I saw my mom was not a whiny person. I just don't remember ever seeing my mom just really complaining about, like, oh, it's just so hard. I don't. There are things you may overhear your parents talk about on the phone, but I've never, only hearing about, what's going on over here, over there with other people. But my mom, I can't say I looked at her and she was just whiny, meltdownish. She wasn't, okay? She's silent and quiet, but she, I would say iron fist and a velvet glove. That's all I could say. But anyway, when you grow up with boys, there's not a lot of room for a bunch of nagging and arguing and long conversations about feelings. Just wasn't, If something happened, they'll just tell you straight up what they feel. Look, boom, your breath stink. Whatever they tell you. I didn't like that, that was foul. They'll just tell you what they did not like. They'll tell you directly, no, this is wrong. You shouldn't do it. And that's it. There's not a bunch of long talks, and I didn't have that with them. There's no going to them like, look, we need to sit, we need to talk, we need to discuss this. Nope. I say what I need to say to them. We may argue about it, and for the most part, it's going to end with them saying whatever, and it just ends. You see? Long, weepy, sweet sappy conversations. You're not going to have that with brothers. You just know they love you. You know that they care for you. We had no problem saying we love each other. That was easy. You know, love you. And they'll say back, love you too. Love you too, D. That's what they'll say to me. You know, I'll say, love you, Marv, love you, Jay, you know, just whatever. And they'll just say it back. There is nothing like, well, why do you love me? Tell me why. You know, we don't do that. So I bring all that to say I grew up like that. And it was like, because I grew up that way, my approach to relationship was so different. It was just like, if I saw something that just wasn't good, I'm out. I'm leaving. I don't want to be with you anymore. You know, I may have that discussion with you, but if it's just something that you know you shouldn't do, like there is no discussing you being rude, disrespectful, calling me out, you know, saying something rude to me, insulting me, using foul language towards me in some way. I don't need to talk about that with you. We're just not going to talk anymore. But I was like, end of story, period. That was me. End of story. I'm done. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to talk about nothing. And I remember my friends, they were like, my female friends, I'm like, girl, you were so cold. You were so hard, you know? And that really struck a chord with me. And I was like, really? And so I tried it. I tried to be more understanding and loving and patient. Okay, I forgive you. You know, oh my gosh. Yeah, let me tell you, that was a huge mistake. Huge mistake. Because at the very core of me, I was always able to just leave. I was always able to be like, I'm done. I knew, just cut and dry, this is not working. I'm over it. And I was made to feel as if me being that way, or me saying that, or being that way, that I was mean or I wasn't nice. So I started trying to be, you know, gentle Jesus, meek and mild, look upon a little child, sweet little lamb. And got taken advantage of. Really did. And there's something of when you allow a person to get close to you emotionally and infiltrate the way you think. When you get around a person who is like toxic, or a person who is manipulating, a person who lies all the time, or they may be abusive, whatever it is, if you stick around long enough in trying to be Mr. Understanding, something's going to break inside of you. Something's going to change. And all of a sudden, you become tolerant of it. Because in my opinion, I believe that sort of behavior, that thing that people do, toxicity, it's contagious. That stuff is contagious. It's like a disease that if it gets to you and you become immersed in it, it becomes like some sort of viscous substance. It's sticky. All of a sudden, you're thinking differently. If you're around a person who abuses you verbally and talks down to you, a person who lies to you all the time and tries to trick you, and they are very cunning, if you stick around with that type of person, it will change you mentally. It will change you emotionally. And you become tolerant. You lose sight of yourself. And you just end up being in this little Krabby Patty type of relationship with them. So here I was at some point now, caught up in this cycle of emotions and feelings and wanting to believe what I feel versus what is in front of me, believing what they could be versus what they are. I'm like, how the heck did I turn into this? What's going on here? And I'll tell you what it is. When you stick around toxic people, whether it's a friend, let's just put it like this. Like, that type of toxicity and thing will bleed over into other relationships. You'll find you let people get away with things in other aspects too, not only with, an intimate partner, but with other people, because they will break down your sense of self. They'll break down your confidence. You're used to being tricked and lied to and abused and talked to crazy, just depending on the scenario. You may not be physically abused. I was never physically abused by men. I haven't been in a relationship where I'm just being beat up. No. Okay. Have I seen someone display their potential to be violent or behave in a way that let me know that they would be violent towards me? Yes. And I leave. I'm not even going to go there. Okay. But when you're around someone who's either verbally abusing you, emotionally abusing you, mentally abused, physical abuse, sexual abuse, whatever it is, when you stay with that type of person, it's going to break you down, and it does affect like your other relationships with other people. You're either going to be hostile towards other people because you're being abused and mistreated. You are now going to practice what they call displacement. And so when you see someone who's nice and who you feel like you're stronger than them in some way, you may go around and start mistreating other people, taking out your frustration on them, going to work, being a jerk of a boss, whatever it is, because you're being abused in some way. And then you may also find where you keep meeting people who is taking advantage of you, where there's a boss that's taking advantage of you. You keep meeting other people that was just like this person, because I believe that when you're around a toxic person and you allow them that time and space to abuse you, and you sit there and you ignore what you know is right because, I want to be a nice person, I don't want to seem like a jerk, it's going to change you. It's not even a matter of whether you mean it or not. Something begins to happen, because to me, I even believe it's a spiritual thing. They have some bad energy, all of that, and just evil, and that stuff is contagious, and it will change your mindset. So you'll find yourself letting people abuse you, talk to you crazy. You will be a lot more tolerant of people's flippant behaviors towards you because you have been around an abusive person, right? So that is why, guys, look, I was in that little window for a little bit, but the whole time I know I can leave. I know I can just pop smoke. But then at some point, here's the other thing, when you're in relationships and you get emotionally tied up with someone, you know you could leave, but suddenly you're not strong enough to do it anymore. You know that you can get out, you know that you should, but you don't. So then you're in this place of like, what am I doing? And every time you get the strength, the strength to say I'm done, then the person may be able to talk you back into staying. Now, all those scenarios does not apply to me in all areas, but I can say for a fact that there were situations where I literally know that I can just walk away from this person, but somehow I didn't want to be come off as a person who's hateful. I just remembered what my friend said, and I was like, am I really a mean person? Am I really too dismissive? And I thought it was bad to be like that. Let's just put it like that. So I tolerated a lot of things to some degree, because I wasn't all, just do whatever. I've always been a strong person, so there's no way I could just be completely docile and just be like, whatever you say. That's not me. But there were some things that really got worn out. And I was like, I'm stronger than this. Why am I doing this? And then when you end up becoming emotional, then you're doing more talking and arguing and questioning and sitting down having a talk. I need to understand why we do, what's going on. I don't want to do that. But you will turn into a whiny, sappy person, want to talk type of person, sit down, trying to get an understanding. When you get around a person who brings out that side, a person who lies a lot, a person who is conniving, a person who is passive aggressive, and you're still trying to be with them. You have to get away from them, because if you don't, you're going to turn into Mary McSappy. You're going to turn into Ned Needy, when you've always been a strong person. But let me tell you, they just bring that out. But it's important that you take responsibility. So anyway, so after some point with the nonsense and all the shenanigans going on, I'm like, hey, it's done. I'm over. It's over. And when I say it's over, I mean it's over. I'm out. I leave. It's like that side of me that's always been who I am, I cut it off. I can honestly tell you that I can't tell you of anybody really who I say who is left. I left because they still want to be there. This person still want to be around, but they want to continue doing the same things that they were doing. And I left. I broke it off. And I walk away. And I don't think about it. And I'm not concerned about what you're doing. And I'm not checking. And I'm not looking for your phone call anymore. And I don't care. As I said, I'm not to the point that if the person is hurt on the side of the road, I'm like, oh, just run through a puddle and wet them. If someone is like dying or something's going on, I'm not a jerk like that, because even if someone is your ex or someone is someone that you don't get along with anymore, whether it's a friend that someone used to be friends with, if that person is in dire straits and they are in danger, it's not about you hurt me. It's about being a human being. It's about being a citizen, right? You a good citizen. Someone is hurt, you make sure that they're okay. Okay, but I may not sit by your bed and pat your brow. I'm not going to do all that. You have a nurse. That's what your mom's for. But the point that I'm making, guys, is when I wake up from that nonsense, I am out. I am gone. There's no coming back. No amount of, I'm going to change. Nope. I'm done. I remember talking to one of my brothers about this, and I'm like, I don't understand what it is. It's like, it just feels like if I could imagine a light switch. It's like after a while, when someone's done something and they've been going on for a long minute, it's like that flip just, it's like someone flipped a switch, and then I feel nothing anymore. Nothing. I don't feel anything anymore. Just a strong resolve to end it. And nothing stops me from that. I end it. I'm done. I'm out. I don't care. I'm not even angry. It's like this calm just comes. I feel so calm, but I feel nothing. Like all that frustration and hurt and pain, it's gone. And I also feel like, because I have the sense of really trying to give people the benefit of the doubt at times, because I like justice and I like equity, I tend to I'm going to give you the opportunity, give you the benefit of the doubt, try to look at all the possibilities, weigh out and measure everything first. And I'm very laid back about that. And sometimes that laid back, that easygoing thing that I'm able to understand a perspective, people will take that for granted and think that's a weakness. Don't do it. So when I'm done, I'm done. But one thing that I would definitely say is, and I will encourage anybody listening, is if you already have this disposition of, whatever, you can really just walk away from something, walk away from someone. You don't tolerate nonsense. You don't tolerate idiocy. You're not going to deal with people who have shown you that they're shady. It is not a bad thing. Don't ever let anybody make you feel that to have little tolerance for nonsense makes you a bad person. It's actually a great character trait to have. I have my son right now. My son is a person that if you're taught bad about yourself, he does not want to hear it. He tells you, don't say that. Why do you say bad things about yourself? If you say something negative, you may be like, oh my God, I just feel ugly today. He doesn't like it. He's not listening. And if you try to whine to him about something, he's not going to. Sorry about that. So he's not going to feed into any of that. He is not going to feed into it. He's not going to sit there and sympathize. Oh, he doesn't do that. And that's a great trait to have. You see, there's traits, guys, that we may have that's actually a good trait. And there's nothing wrong with it. But people want you to, and sometimes your friend, right? Your friends may say, man, you're so cold. Man, you're so this or that. Why are you that way? And so you question yourself, as you would. Because I remember when they told me that, I was in my early 20s. And when you're in that phase, you're kind of thinking, oh, am I? Maybe I need to just, think a little differently. And because these were friends I really trusted and I'm close to, they used to call me cold. They're like, you were so cold. Like the ice queen. And I was like, really? I don't want to be cold. But guys, that was actually a great attribute to have. Provided you have balance, provided you're able to see things from all perspective, but there's nothing wrong with saying, listen, no. There's nothing wrong with being able to cut something off and not go back to it. Because if we just put those things into abeyance and we don't pay attention and we're just going along with our feelings and just allowing people to continue to be a certain way, and then you're supposed to understand them and try to figure out where they're coming from, you're going to end up getting hurt. And then what happens is you stick around these people long enough, you're going to catch their little toxic cooties, okay? And then you're going to get it. And then all of a sudden, you're going to be thinking different. And you're not going to be as strong as you used to be. You're not going to be as certain as you used to be. And then you may act like them. And then you're just in there like crabs in a barrel. And then you got this stank on you. So now you go around and you draw people of that nature towards you. Whereas before, when you were self-assured and you did not take nonsense, though your circle was small, you had people that you can trust and people who knew they couldn't play games. So, I'm back. I've been back for a long time. As a matter of fact, I never went anywhere. I was always there. I always had that mentality, but I fought against it so much. I fought against that side of myself that was just no nonsense and was like, I'm finished. I'm done. I don't want to hear it. Boom. Bye. I fought against that side of myself. And then what happened? You end up being taken advantage of, hurt, end up having to do it anyway. But by that time, the person have done so much nonsense. By the time you make the decision to say, I'm through, they're like, good riddance. So maintain your value. Maintain your value. Maintain your sense of self, your being. And don't be ashamed, and don't let anybody tell you that you're too harsh and you're too crass. Are there things that maybe you can work on? You don't want to be a rude person. You don't want to be a person who talks down to people. There's a difference between being confident and being rude. There's a difference between honest and being uncouth in your behavior towards other people. So there's a way to still be strong, straightforward, stand up for what you believe in, while still giving other people respect. The times that you may have to raise your voice more or be more, the word is not cutthroat, but you have to demonstrate in a more assertive way that you are not playing. It's balanced. It's something that you do, and you move away from that, and you're not holding grudges. So guys, that's just a little bit about myself, and just something to share with you guys, to be who you are and don't let anybody talk you out of it, and be assured that those attributes that you have, especially when it's where you do not take nonsense from people, it is something that's there to help you, and it's something that's there to protect you, and it's really something that you can wield and use with balance and with wisdom, right? And there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Only people that want to take advantage of you want you to soften up. And we are living in a society where people are like, you need to be more understanding. Don't hurt my feelings. Don't tell me the truth. Tell me what I want to hear. Tell me that I'm loved. Smooth my hair. Grease me back. Brush me down. Touch my brows. It's crazy. It's crazy. So, anyways, guys, thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.